it's been a good day. I can't even lie. You flip out Adarius, no L, Adarius Hayes, Hitman Hayes, they call him, from Largo High School, 6'4", 210, middle linebacker. You flip him from Florida. You flip Armando Blunt back to Miami from Florida State. Who else? Did we flip somebody else today? Did we? Hold on. Jordan Lyle was the other day, but this is completing that. No, I don't think there was any other flipness, but yeah, but hey, that's still a really good day in terms of flipping. Just to kind of close the gap, Kevin Riley from Tuscaloosa County, Alabama, did flip to Alabama. Happens. Like I said, he plays in the shadow of Bryant-Denny Stadium. He's from Tuscaloosa County, which is where Tuscaloosa City is. And Alabama finally opened their eyes and was like, one of the best running backs in this class is right down the road. We really need to make that move. And did. I think Miami made a great eval there. Like Kevin Riley is. He can hoop. Like he's a baller. But yeah, you replace him with Jordan Lyle, who's the best back from South Florida in this class. It's maybe a half step down from Riley to Lyle, but if that's a trade that has to be on the table, then I'll take it. And then you have Chris Wheatley Humphrey, Hellcat Humphrey, who, like Chris Johnson in last year's class, is just speed. Just pure, unadulterated speed. This is a man who averaged 16 yards a carry as a junior in high school. Let me say that again. As a running back, 16 yards a carry. Go look up the notebook. Like, it's craziness. Over almost 11 yards as a senior, Chris Wheatley Humphrey. And he outruns angles from fast players. You see it on the regular. And Jordan Lyle ain't no slouch either. He averaged 10.5 yards a carry for his whole prep career, being a number 2 running back at Aquinas as a sophomore, and then starting the last 2 years and I think it was like 11.3 and then 10.6 the last 2 years per carry across a full season for state champion Aquinas, who's, won 5 state championships in a row. So, it's been a pretty good day.
By the way, Blunt's stats in his most recent junior season 23-24. Yes, 58 total tackles, 19 tackles for loss, 11 sacks. Productive player there, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, very productive, and that ends up being his, final season after, reclassifying up, so only 3 years. But yeah, this is a guy who, he does the job, man. And yeah, I mean, if you look at pretty much every position group, you have to be pleased. Quarterback Judd Anderson, 6'6", almost 6'7", but he like tripled, almost 3.5 multiplier on his stats from when he was at Jones County last year to Warner Robins this year. 73% passing, more than 3,000 yards. More than 3,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, a handful of interceptions for him. So, moving up to a bigger and better school in a larger, I think it's the same classification as Jones County, but playing really well. At running back, I already talked about the pair of Jordan Lyle and Chris Wheatley Humphrey. Haven't gotten to wide receiver yet. We'll come back to that. Elijah Lofton is Brevin Jordan part 2. He's short for a tight end at 6'2", 225, 230. He's from Las Vegas, went to Bishop Gorman, wore number 9, is coming to the U. Like, all of the things that Brevin Jordan was, Elijah Lofton is part 2. So, yeah, that's a real easy comparison. You think, well, how would we use this guy? How do we use Brevin Jordan? That way. Except for Elijah Lofton might be a little bit more athletic. But at tight end, you're good there. Offensive line, the massive Markel Jones, Bell, that you see right there, 6'9", 340 at the bottom of that list. The number 1 JUCO offensive tackle. Then you get Juan Minaya, nicknamed Door, because he's literally as big as a door frame. I actually put the tweet of that in his notebook because people, I'm sure, would wonder that. Minko Fracavilla is a Canadian native who moved down and did he did a couple years at Loomis Chaffee School, but then a post-grad year at Cheshire Academy in Connecticut. He might be the center of the future. I think I'm missing one offensive lineman, maybe. Derek Plaz from Jacksonville Mandarin, left tackle for a state championship finalist team in the state of Florida. So you have, a really good group there. I already talked about all the defensive line. You flip Hayes at linebacker. You have Cameron, nicknamed Bobby Pruitt, at linebacker as well. That's a kid who can get sideline to sideline with the best of them. Did I miss another linebacker? We got OG Bobby Pruitt. We got and then again, Booker Pickett Jr. is going to play some linebacker as well. Oh, I missed Dalen Russell on the defensive line also. I forgot to mention that name. In the secondary, you got who do we have in the secondary? We have Ryan Mack, who's the son of Rod Mack, former Miami Hurricane and the coach of that legendary Miami Gardens Ravens program. We have his teammate, Romanos O.J. Frederic, who first made a splash at Deerfield Beach before transferring over to St. Thomas Aquinas. Dylan Day from Southern Lab School in Baton Rouge, the school that's on the campus of Southern University. That's one that I'm really interested in. This is a kid who just made play after play after play. I don't know why the opposing team was throwing the ball this late in the state semifinal game, but they decided to throw it, and he decided to pick it off and take it back to the crib to get his team to the state championship game and win their second, and then eventually win their second state championship in 3 years. They only went 8-5 as a junior, but he put the team on his back. I think 12-1. They went as a senior with Dylan Day leading the way for them. Isaiah Thomas from Clearwater Academy International, which made it deep in the playoffs as well. He's another Canadian native, Toronto native, who moved down to the Clearwater area. I was doing so much so fast this morning because I was getting caught up. I'm a big stupid moron. I actually deleted my notebook that I had written for Isaiah Thomas. Ooh. So I got to go back and redo it. That's the only one that I'm missing, but there is that. I will get that corrected. So to Mr. Thomas and to everybody's like, well, you didn't do everything. Even real G's mess up sometime. I moved too fast. I hit a bad button. There is no recovering it from the online content management system. It happens. I will rewrite it. I'll have it to you guys before the end of. I'm not going to do it today. I was going to try to do it today, but as things were moving, wasn't able to get to it. I'll get to you guys by Friday. By the end of the day, like it's a work product or something. But yeah, we have that. And then last but not least, eventually the Borregales kicking dynasty is going to end. Those this is not like who was the team that did they punted at Tennessee? There was like a million of them. Colquitt. Yeah. Yes. There were like 3 of those. There's only 2 Borregales.
Or the Zendejases.
There was multiple Zendejases, exactly. But there's only 2 Borregales, so eventually the Borregales kicking dynasty in Miami is going to end. So we have set ourselves up with the next guy. Abram Murray from Louisiana is his name. Mario Cristobal told a really cool story during his presser today. He was like, this kid came down for a camp, and he's hitting, 55, 60, 65, or he's saying 62s regularly. Just easy as you like. 62 yards, boom, boom, boom. And he goes over to the staff, and he's like, hey, did we okay a professional kicker to come in to demonstrate or something, or what's going on? They're like, no, this kid is from Louisiana, and he's just bombing it. Like, all right, cool. So Cristobal goes over to talk to him and is like, hey, and Murray goes over and says, how you doing, coach? My name's Abram Murray, and I'm committed to Miami. And he goes, what? He goes, yeah, my name's Abram Murray, and I'm committed to Miami. He's like, wow, yeah. So I didn't even get to do my whole spiel. I didn't even get to power up and remember his name and go talk to his mom and everything. He just came over and said, I'm committed, let's go. And he was like, well, you keep hitting them from 60 plus down the middle all the time. That'll work for me. So, that was a fun story for Abram Murray. So if you're looking forward to what will happen when Borregales leaves, we do have one of the top kickers who, according to Cole's Kicking, which is the one kicking group that he went to the events for, has about the strongest leg that you're going to find in the country, automatic touchback. This is a guy who was almost like 70% in his high school career kicking. He was 6 out of 10 this year. He missed all like 40s and 50s during games. But, even with that being 6 out of 10, he's still a better performer than was Bubba Baxa. And then you add in these other things with that, you can, and maybe a year learning behind a Borregales instead of trying to come in and then just do it cold, like happened with Bubba Baxa, and we saw the way that went. Abram Murray hopefully will be able to take over the kicking duties from 25 and beyond. But that's the quick rundown of everybody who signed. So a top 5 class for Miami, leveling up after being number 7 or 8 last year. First time in 20 years Miami's had consecutive top 10 classes, which is crazy, but also speaks to the level of mediocrity that the performances have been on the field. Again, this is the way that things need to go. Even with the 3 stars, I think that they fit. You get a lot of 4 stars, you get a couple 5 stars, and you also steal some of those from Florida and Florida State, multiple guys each, respectively. That's how you build this roster. This is what Mario was talking about. And this is now the second full class of players of this caliber. This is what we need.
All right. There's one item out there that is still left unaccounted for. So one Jeremiah Smith had certainly, it was my thought that he was going to flip from Ohio State, even though he never did officially, and he was still committed to Ohio State. There were thoughts that he would flip to Florida State, thoughts that he would flip to Miami. He made his little presentation to everyone today, selecting Ohio State in front of the public. However, that national letter of intent has yet to be signed. I saw a clip from Ryan Day's news conference in which he was not commenting on it and was asked, and of course, not allowed to comment on specific players if they are not in the program. And then he was given some kind of cue that he could comment on it. And he said, we need to check on that, make sure. And I checked a number of times after that, and it's still left as just a hard commit to Ohio State. So yet to be signed, and asked by Paulo in particular, thoughts on Jeremiah Smith not signing his letter of intent yet?
Yeah, that's my one specific gripe. If anybody's been wondering where I was going with the one thing. Oh, and I didn't even. So let's circle back because I ran down every position other than wide receiver. You get JoJo Trader, who has played all over South Florida, played at Central for a year, played at Chaminade opposite Jeremiah for 2, started his career, I think, at Monsignor Pace. But that's a dynamic receiver who is a great get. Even talking, Rod Mack, I saw an interview from him. He said JoJo Trader is the most naturally gifted at doing what he does of the receivers and of the skill players, including Jeremiah Smith. Most naturally gifted. Nye Carr from Colquitt County, Georgia, that's a touchdown waiting to happen. Explosive, quick, dynamic in multiple ways in the passing game. Was committed to Georgia previously for a while. So he flipped from 2-time defending national champions at the time of his commitment to Miami. That's a great get. Chance Robinson has a big body, can be the X receiver from St. Thomas Aquinas, has been their number 1 receiver for a few years. In a receiving core where, even the number 2, James Madison, I mean, that's his literal name, went to Missouri. So you have 2 Power 5 guys and Jordan Lyles on that offense. And I don't even know Jit's name. They have a high school freshman, number 81, that I saw in the state championship game. I don't know his name yet. But number 81 from St. Thomas Aquinas, a wide receiver, that's a guy. Circle it, set it off with number, what was that, a 26, 27 recruit, I want to say? Whatever. But 4, 5, 6, so he's a 27 recruit. I don't know his name. He's incredible also, right? But Chance Robinson was the best of those guys. That trio is an incredible trio of receivers. I am exceedingly pleased that they will be Hurricanes. They have all signed. They all do things differently. They've all made highlight reel catches. All of them played at championship level programs, in their states. Chaminade's won multiple in a row. So both years that he was there, Trader won. Also won a championship with Central his sophomore year. St. Thomas Aquinas is in a run of 5 consecutive state championships at their classification. So Chance Robinson's never played a high school season without winning a championship, right? So you're talking between 2 dudes, that's 7. I believe Coca County won at least one in Nye Carr's career. So that's 8 championships among the 3 dudes, and a lot of the championship performance was put on their back and what they did athletically. That is incredible. Full stop. I am very excited to integrate those guys, have them on the roster, all of those things. You should be proud of that haul. Kevin Beard, great stuff. Now we transition to Jeremiah. And back to Paulo's question, because I did take a little bit of a detour there. My one complaint about roster construction with this team is that Miami has continually missed on the number 1 5-star All-American receivers from South Florida for 20 years. And even with getting guys like a Chance Robinson, even getting guys like Stacey Coley, Amon Richards, who was incredible, even the guys in this class, guys in other classes, we've had really good dudes. I'm not saying that there is no talent. I'm not saying that. But the number 1 with a bullet at the top of the list that everybody wants, that's the thing that's been missing on this roster. And if you look at every other position on the field, we've actually gotten those guys, right? Everybody in America wanted Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson said, I'm putting on for the crib. Bye. Don't ask me nothing. I'm going to Miami. James Williams, Leonard Taylor, like Francis Mawanoa, Samson Okunlola. Like, you can look at the running back room. You can look. We've had the elite of the elite at all of these positions. Look at the linebackers in the last couple of classes. Look at the corners that we've signed. We've had elite of elite of elite at every position except for the ex-receiver. I put it in the piece that I wrote about him, and I had to edit it because I thought he had signed. I said, no, he reaffirmed his commitment to O-State, not that he had signed, but Jerry Jeudy, Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper, I didn't even put him in there, but like a Marcus Rosemy from St. Thomas Aquinas, who was a borderline 4-star, 5-star, old Grandpa Ridley, like all these dudes who have been elite from down here, gone away. And that's my complaint. We cannot, we're getting more. So getting a JoJo Trader and a Chance Robinson and everything, we're pushing that. But I need someone to stand on business. And I know that everybody's going to say, well, he said he wants to go somewhere that's putting out lots of first rounders. It's going to take a measure of faith.